is Fantasy Football Till Death.
V17.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode 6 of your Fantasy Football Till Death podcast. I'm your host and your league mate, oh so beloved, Thomas Wright, joined alongside, as always, my boy, Sam Singer. Sam.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How are you doing?
Happy Friday. And guys, stick with us here. We don't know how this audio is going to turn out. Our dog ate our audio homework.
I'm sorry about that, guys. That one's on me. I'm an idiot. Yeah, so stupid.
Regardless, we're bringing you another episode. We know it's what the people want. We were fired up about the responses last week. We had a ton of fun doing that episode. And we got a good one in store for us this week, Sam, don't we?
Boys. We got some things for you this week. We, of course, going to hit you with our recap. You know, we got to bring back Suicide Watch of the Week. I wonder who's going to be on that list. We have a new segment for you called Speed Dating, where we are going to, well, we previewed this a little bit a couple episodes ago, but we're going to do a little role playing and figure out who's compatible trade partners in the league. We are going to then do another new segment for you. We've been hard at work, boys, called Truth Hurts. Our take on two truths and a lie about players in the NFL and league managers. And then, you know, as always, we're going to wrap it up with Gambler's Alley. After Thomas hits the inaugural winning.
Bang. How about that?
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, like, have you ever won a 16 parlay in real life?
No.
Neither have I. And so, you know what's great about winning that parlay is I got 3 right and I won off of you getting 3 wrong.
Yeah.
It's just like, so appropriate. It's like, that's how gambling really should be.
Yeah.
You hit it about a 50% clip and somehow to get rewarded for the other 50% is just, it's amazing. It feels good. Thank you for the Venmo. I mean, it's got to have felt a little bit better coming off of that 120 ball that you got deposited from Mr. Cook.
It subsidized it a little bit. Yeah, you know, it was hairy there for a second because I was about to go from first to worst. One Kenneth Walker touchdown away, and holy shit, there should have been a couple of opportunities there with some PI calls that were not called in the end zone of that game. So, Hunter, thanks for giving me a heart attack all of Monday night. That was not fun. It would not have been fun to blow a 70-point lead. So sorry about that one, buddy, but at least you're still 3-1.
What a crazy way for week 4 to come to a close. I was literally like feeling my skin crawling. Like I was getting clammy and uncomfortable for you, like having nothing to do with my own game. I was sitting there like Jess was next to me, like half paying attention on TikTok. I was just like, watching in absolute utter disbelief about that. Like, well, it was what? It was Monday night and Sunday night, right? Those are the 2 games.
Yeah, it was Derrick Henry's massive Sunday and Kenneth Walker. I did not see that game coming at all. Coming off an injury, playing a stout run defense. I thought he was going to split carries with Charbonnet. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we were texting. I think I said various things like, I have so much resentment in my stomach right now. I'm going to quit the league. Were
you texting Hunter at all, like individually, or was it just the group chat?
Not at all. No, I was trying to cocoon myself as much as possible. That was insane.
Well, what a matchup. I mean, like to put week 4 to bed. Ultimately, you climb back to 2-2. You join the land of the 500 club. We're there together now. I went astray for a little bit from you. You've caught up. Hunter goes to 3-1, still looking pretty good there, especially with that running back duo. I guess we can talk about that a little bit later, but man, does that look scary. Just one matchup on the books there. We had Luke with another boring win over Brendan. 2 teams that we talked about not so favorably. If we were out, they would probably be not getting lucky. And
yeah, what was the bar that they were hanging out in on Sunday, those 2 teams? Was it like a dive bar with like music playing through broken speakers and like all the beer was warm?
I think they were at like an Applebee's. They were like let's go watch the first half of the game at an Applebee's and get a few drinks. And somehow in your head, it just sounded more fun than when you actually got to the Applebee's and like kicked a couple back and you had some weird people at the bar top trying to talk to you. Someone yelling at his wife on the phone about his day at work and also about how she just sucks in general. And you're just looking at each other like, man, this queso dip is just not enough. It's not doing it for me.
The vibes were off. The lighting was harsh. Yeah. The TV was like when you go watch a game at a restaurant, the TV's got that weird tint to it for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you're in you got transported to like 1983 or something.
Yeah. Like
yeah,
what?
Yeah. So, but congrats to Luke, man. You won it. You won the Applebee's match off. Another win. Like I said, dude, that team it's got potential moving forward. He's going to make some trades, I'm sure. But right now, nice to pick up a win. Brendan, keep on trucking, man. Dust those dusty boots off. And
1 foot at a time, 1 step at a time.
You got it. We got Horse Lords, who we were, it was like one of those, where are we going? Where are we going? Pulls up big, post-trade, 118-112 over Kendall Cook, which...
Another tough week for Ken.
Tough week, back-to-back weeks where it looked like he could have and should have won, and Horse Lords would not be denied.
But on the bright side, Ken might have found a startable running back. In fact, got over 18 points from his running backs last week. So
that's actually huge.
There's a silver lining there.
That's huge. That is huge. That's huge. Ken, it's not over till it's over, man. I know you're not going to stop grinding, clawing your way back. It's possible. So yeah, Ken goes to 0-4, Evan to 2-2. Justice League, Mr. Ben, I said it was an easy call. They wouldn't break 100, and he didn't break 100
again.
By the narrowest margins, I will say, ran into the juggernaut that is Jay's team, really rounding into form with his two stud running backs leading
Jay
charge.
Went to Kohl's, got some new clothes, got some new shoes, texted the bouncer that he befriended at the gym, cut the line at the club, got some free drinks because he knows the bartender. Things are looking up for Jay.
Jay with the powerful running back duo of Hubbard Moss. Back-to-back weeks of 35-plus for those two. Slots in Mr. Tutu Atwell for the tune of double digits, which is really big. And he's looking nice. He's looking like someone you definitely want to sink your teeth into post Pauls or post district. So good for you, Jay. Goes to 1-3, gets his first win on the board. Ben down to 1-3. Sorry, Ben, but I will say, if he's telling the truth, apparently Ben has listened to the podcast.
No.
That's what he said. Did you see in the group chat?
No, I didn't.
He did. Self-proclaimed listener of the podcast.
You know what, Ben? If you're listening to this, send a barf smiley face emoji to the group chat because I just don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Supposedly did. I'm a man of my word. My Ben vitriol ends now. It's going to be viewed from a very objective lens moving forward. So Ben, congratulations. I'm going to take your word for it. And as a reward, I'm going to absolutely pillage you this week and send you to 1-4. Not because your team isn't good. It's really sick. It's really good. It's really good. Props to your team. But you're just running into an absolutely stacked wide receiver lineup led by Darnell Mooney. So that being said, congrats to Ben on supporting his fellow league mates finally and listening to the pod.
Let's go, Ben. Couple other notes. Casey gets another win against maybe not so good showing by podcast host Thomas. Casey loses Puka Nacua. Casey loses Christian McCaffrey. Never had him. Casey loses Debo for a week.
Which I got to say, all right.
Casey's quarterback scores
singles. On Casey so much anymore. He got gifted an RB1 for nothing, for literally nothing. He got gifted to it.
That's true.
His entire season just absolutely saved, galvanized. Kendall might as well be freaking Jesus, the way he just provided salvation to Casey's team. So although, CMC going down hurts, to have an instant RB1 plug-in is like something it's unheard of. So let's just say that right now. Yes, the injuries have sucked, but he had an instant RB1 replacement. He got 1 week away from Debo. Debo is usually gone for 75 weeks at a time. So there you go, Casey. He's now flipped it. He should still be hurt, and yet he flipped it for Garrett Wilson. So,
but I will say this. I
am bitter that Casey just ran me through the muck, just absolutely dragged me, blew me out. Anyone would have blown me out last week. But no more sympathy. He's got Jordan Mason and Debo back, okay? And Puka was always going to get hurt, and he sucks in general. There we go. Casey, good job. Your team's solid. No more feeling sorry for Casey.
Oh, I don't feel sorry for him. He's 3-1. He's 3-1, tied for the top record in the league. So call that Jordan Mason. Call that a couple big games from Josh Allen.
He's got players still. He's got a good team.
So good for Casey. I think that rounded out all our matchups of the week.
How bad was that team, though, that he played? Goodness gracious. How about this? How about it? Actually, I'll save it. It doesn't quite round it out. We did have Welcome Pandemonium, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Run and roughshod over Double Hattie. That was a great ending to that matchup, too. We had the Jameson, Amon-Ra sort of duo there. They had money on the line, straight up bet who would score more between JMO and Amon-Ra. That was back and forth. Crazy, huge touchdown there from JMO at the end to seal the deal for Graham. Crazy win. What a great matchup between two really good teams.
And locked in that parlay for you, Tom. 50 buckaroos, thanks to Jameson Williams.
Thank you, Jameson Williams.
Pretty sick week. Pretty sick week. Speaking of sick. Oh, also, yeah, never mind. Speaking of sick, technical difficulties.
We don't have our equipment here, guys. We're like, it's late on a Friday at the end of the work week, no equipment. It's a grind. It's not all, you don't always have your A game.
You know, everyone thinks it's all glory and fun to be a podcast host, but it's hard work.
We're grinding for you guys right now. We're happy to do it, but man, you can see the bags in our eyes. They're just bulging as we look over at each other. Not even knowing what this sounds like at all. We don't have no clue.
Yeah, for all we know, we're going to finish recording this and not have any usable audio. So, hey.
Oh, man.
Speaking of sick in the head, sick in a bad way. You know what time it is. Suicide Watch of the Week. You want to lead us off, Tom?
Yeah, I'd love to. Absolutely love to. Yeah, Suicide Watch of the Week. We've had some pretty, standard guests on. And, I think we both try. We make a conscious effort to not talk about our own teams too much because there's a little bit of bias there. I think it's appropriate for me to step in here. I'd like to get there, to go over to the ledge and just stare over at just Grand Canyon sized ledge up there, many thousand feet above, and just stare down at that pretty landscape beneath me. You know what? Imagine a world where after 1 week, you make a trade and you land Bijan Robinson.
Okay.
Not only do you hypothetically speaking, you land Bijan Robinson, but it doesn't end there. You actually landed him to pair him with Breece Hall.
Oh, hypothetically?
Hypothetically speaking.
Wow.
Hypothetically speaking, two players that were arguably top 5 draft picks in any draft board. Two players that, by all rights, had a chance to be the number 1 scoring players in all of fantasy, according to very smart people out there. Imagine that. Imagine you line up that duo. You line up that duo on your team to tack on to contributing players like Dak Prescott and A.J. Brown, a wide receiver 1. Imagine before week 2, being in a situation, think of it ADP-wise, where you have Breece and Bijan, and you manage to have what many people assume will be a top 6 wide receiver, a true wide receiver 1. Imagine that. Sounds pretty sick,
I'm
right?
imagining it sounds pretty sick.
Yeah, sounds pretty sick for your fantasy team. Now imagine 3 weeks later, at the end of week 4, those 3 players combine for 10 points.
10 points total.
10 points total.
Hypothetically
speaking, those 3 players score for 10 points total.
Ooh.
Imagine where your headspace would be between the end of week 1 and the end of week 4. Can you imagine feeling good at that point?
I think you might be on the list.
Can you imagine what? Schindler's List? What list are we talking about here?
A couple lists for sure.
Because that's where I am. I just want to complain. I just want to complain because I hate those guys. I absolutely hate those guys. 10 points specifically. Never mind AJ, whatever. He's got a hurt hamstring. A lot of injuries out there. Not going to complain about the injury. Although I love our receivers with hurt hammies, it's just whatever. You don't expect them to play. If they do, great. It's an additive, I guess. Why not throw JSN out there or Darnell Mooney for all it's worth? Might as well. Who cares? Just start a player. We need bodies. But to go out of your way to stack those 2 running backs and then to return 10 points when we have players like Chuba Hubbard and Zach Moss scoring 40 and those guys can't break 15. I couldn't imagine those guys scoring 40 at this point. And yeah, Jason, listen, I know, your strategy was super sick. You knew the running backs, dime a dozen, whatever. You can't rely on them. So your running backs were supposed to score 40. Hubbard and Moss they're just those dudes. Give me my chance to complain here. I'm sorry. It's now dawned on me. Those 2 running backs are just shitty. They're bad. They'll never score for 40 combined. I'd be lucky to get 15 apiece, maybe on a spike week. Never mind, goddamn 30 from Saquon every week, Kamara, Derrick Henry, Walker, basically any other fucking running back that is getting started in this league that gets volume. Yeah, never mind that. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to just put a bow on it. I scored 82 points this week.
Oof.
I got absolutely the doors blown off of me by Casey. I deserved it. The team is awful. It is awful, and there's only one man that can possibly lift me from the depths of hell, and that's Darnell Mooney. So thanking God that he is on my team. It's time to turn a new page. Dawn is rising. Ben, I'm sorry. Your team is really good. I applaud you for the draft, but thanks to Mooney, I have hope. So yeah, I just talked myself off the ledge.
Yeah,
but there it is. That was the suicide watch of the week.
Way to end that on a positive note here. I got a question.
Fired up.
Who's scoring more this week? Kareem Hunt, Cam Akers, or Brees and Bijan?
I kid you not when I say this. I am not joking or being sarcastic, even one iota. It's the 2. I don't even know. I can't even name them. I think you said Akers and Kareem. It's easily those. I would bet another $10 to you right now on the pod that those guys outscore my 2 guys.
Well, it's Ken. When you listen to this pod first thing tomorrow at 6 a.m., the door is open, buddy. Wagers on the table. Do you believe in your guys?
Wager for who?
Ken and you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think Ken would take that. Oh, you already have a 9. Yeah, let's piggyback on the suicide real quick. Peer into the future. Pretend like it's not already Friday, and I pretend like I didn't already watch Bijan get single digits again. But hey, spoiler alert, Bijan played again, and he scored 9. So whoop-de-doo, make those bets if you have running backs that have a pulse.
You hear that, Ken? And speaking of Ken.
You're up, man. I need to take a breather.
Yeah, here, take this pill. Go sit in that padded room over there.
I'm out, guys.
Woosah. It sucks being on this list. But you know what? You should talk to Ken because Ken's familiar with this list. He's made his home on this list, and he's still on this list this week. So Ken, look, you're handling this very well. You're 0-4. Didn't have the draft that you wanted. I mean, not to be the dead horse. We've been over all of it. Lost Rashi this week, taken out by his own QB. And that's a bummer. So for that reason, you got to stay on the list. I think at this point, Ken, you haven't earned your way off the suicide watch of the week list. I really hope that this is the week. Actually, I don't hope this is the week because if this is the week,
we're losing a lot of good content, Ken.
Yeah, we're losing a lot of good content. No. I do hope this is the weekend.
I think I truly think he wins this week.
I think things are looking up. I mean, the lineup's not that bad for how bad it has been. So
you can take matchup into consideration. Luke's a friendly 3-1.
Luke's starting Cortland Sutton, so that's a bummer.
Always helps the opposing team's chances. I think.
B-Rob might not play this week. So Ken, maybe this is the week. Get off the list, Ken. Get off the list.
Well done.
You feeling good?
Yeah, I think was that a lot, by the way? I have no idea how that's going to sound getting played back, but that was from the heart.
That's what's important. And hopefully you feel way
This is organic. Yeah, this is organic. This is semi-therapy session. By the way, guys, I get it. I'm 2-2. There's a lot of season left. I'm not complaining. There's people in worse positions than me. I'm a prisoner of this moment. It's been a few week moment. It's not just the record. Sorry. It's about the circumstance. Anyone that drafts certain players, we are all guilty of it. We have this imagination that runs wild. We just like live for like being on our couch, watching Red Zone and watching our phones light up with notifications, getting to just go goo goo gaga over 26 points next to a player's name. It's an endorphin rush. I've just been lacking that with those guys. So that was just me complaining about that. Still feel okay overall, and I'm 2-2. So it is what it is.
You know, a lot of football left to play. That's, as they say, a lot of Sundays and Thursdays and Mondays left. And we're back. Boys, a little bit of technical difficulties. As we mentioned, my dumbass left all of our podcasting equipment in LA. So we're recording janky style right now. We just realized that we recorded like probably
that was like a good 30 minutes.
At least 30 minutes.
25, 30 minutes. I think we just did our longest individual segment that we've ever done.
Yep. And didn't record any of it.
Didn't record any of it. So maybe there's going to be a little
waka waka. Long story short, guys, I know we promised the speed dating section, but it's not happening this week. And I'm sorry for that. We've let you down, but something to look forward to next week, especially for those of you on the suicide watch list. Tom,
let me give you a little. Don't bring it up, dude.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Little preview. I think we did you a service there because, I don't know. It feels like we've been on like a 4-day bender. We're here trying to record a podcast. Like,
it's day 17 of Coachella, and we decided now is when we're going to do our podcast on the.
We just tried to do a segment that required a lot of on your feet thinking, and let's just say that we might as well have been lying horizontally and not been on our feet.
Yeah, Bill Simmons would never have called us back if he heard that segment. So good thing it didn't get recorded.
He may or may not have called me back privately. I just haven't told you yet.
And said that he heard that segment actually, and that we're pre-fired.
We're pre-fired.
We're pre-fired. Fuck.
Yeah, but hey, such is life, guys. That's the nature of the beast. That's why we do this live. And next week, got another section to look forward to. So
speed dating. So anyways, moving on. Fuck. Gosh.
We're going to go to our next segment. And I promise this one won't be cut short. It's called, and Sam previewed this earlier, Two Truths and a Lie. As I led into it in the section that got destroyed by not recording, we were so lit that we explained the rules like 17 times. So I'm happy now to just say it once and once only. I'm going to give 3 statements. 2 of them will be true and 1 of them will be false. And it's up for Sam to decide. Up to Sam to decide.
To Sam to decide.
And I'm just going to throw these out there. I'm just going to throw them at him, and he has to decide here on the spot. I don't know. I'm not leading him a certain way. This is totally organic, and for Sam to decide which ones are true and which one's false. So
let's do it. Can you explain the rules one more time?
I can do it at least 4 or 5 more times if it would make for good content.
Oh, I'm so sorry about this podcast, guys. I am so sorry.
No, we don't have to apologize. We just gifted them not having to hear the last 30 minutes.
We cut all the bad stuff.
Yeah, we cut it. Maybe we just play a nice song here for the rest of the time.
I'm 6 feet from the edge, and now you know when you can just feel your hopes and dreams just sliding out of your grasp.
Yeah,
we're never going to be on the Bill Simmons sports network.
I felt like we were like, okay, it's kind of like working out, lifting weights. You start and you feel this high, and you just up. But eventually you plateau for a little bit.
We just plateau.
And you got to figure it out.
We got to change out our workout.
Maybe we're plateauing. Yeah. We got to add some HIIT workouts. We got to do some supersetting. We got to take some drugs.
Drugs.
Does anyone have Adderall we can take before we do this?
We're looking to make gains.
Jay, what's in your toiletry bag?
Let's play a game. On next week's episode, the segment that we will be adding to the show is What's in Jay's Toiletry Bag?
What goodies does he have for us today?
Are you going to be awake for 4 days or asleep for 48 hours? Take this pill and find out.
We can do a spinny wheel. You guys missed the spinny wheel explanation we had.
It was such a good segment. Look at us. Look at us rambling again.
We digress. We're going to Two Truths and a Lie. I'm not going to explain what it is because I already did.
God.
I am going to give Sam 3 statements. Sam, number 1, Patrick Mahomes is cooked as it pertains to being a QB1 nowadays.
All right.
That's 1. 2, Kirk Cousins is not cooked. In fact, he's so not cooked that ROS, he's going to be a top 8 quarterback.
Okay.
Newly signed addition to Griffin Hunter's bench. How does 42 on your bench feel? Griffin, not great. Does it? All right. And 3. Without Tua, you don't want to start any Dolphins. I don't care who they are. None of them. Those are your 3. Go. 2 truths and a lie.
Way to throw me to the wolves to start. Okay, you're kidding. This is easy. Patrick Mahomes is cooked. From a fantasy perspective, he's cooked, especially because he took out his number 1 wide receiver. I'm going to say the other thing that's true. No Tua, no startable Dolphins. Absolutely true. Look, Tyreek might pop from week to week. Devon Chain is good, but that team is bad. No QB, major problemo for everyone on that team. And Kirk Cousins, top 8 QB, rest of schedule.
You have to give a false here just by the rules. I don't know if I explained them well enough, but this one has to be false.
Okay, well, this is fucking false. One good game. Let's calm down, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't even score an offensive touchdown last week. And, he threw for 500 yards and 4 touchdowns, which is really sick. That's something Pat Mahomes isn't going to do all season. But, no, I just don't buy these top 7 rest of schedule.
All right. There you go. Sam, you're getting a phone call. Do you need to take it live on the podcast? That would be appropriate for this one.
Oh, it's my dad. Hey, Dad. Hello?
How was your work week, son? Okay. Are you good? Do you need to send a text and you say I'm busy?
We're good.
Okay, we're good. We're going to the next 3 statement group. First one being, and this is near and dear to my heart, just as I was getting over it. Bijan Robinson is an RB2. We'll just leave it at that. Number 2, Alvin Kamara is a top 5 running back rest of season.
Okay.
He's been number 1, but he's going to be top 5 rest of season.
I'm well aware.
Yes, you are. And lastly, Brian Thomas Jr. season is officially here. Rest of season, he is a borderline wide receiver 1, if not high-end wide receiver 2.
Okay. I think I have too much emotional attachment to this. So let me know in the comments how off base I am. Boys, let's start with the bad news first. I do think Bijan is an RB2.
Oh, sick.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Okay.
I think he's
a freak to the choir.
I think he's a freak in nature. But yeah, I think he's an RB2. Alvin Kamara, top 5 running back, rest of schedule. False. I think he's either going to get hurt. I think that teams have found out or will find out the New Orleans offense. I think there's a lot of mouths to feed. I think Derek Carr's shitty. So look, Kamara started sick last season too and really faded down the stretch. So that means, I guess, by default that Brian Thomas Jr. is him potentially. Look, I'd be excited to try out BTJ every week. I mean, he looks sick. If they can just throw him the ball, I mean, I know that offense and that team is horrible. But
did I not say, by the way, speaking of him, I remember week 1, I was saying, pod 1, Graham's wide receivers, they've got like this sneaky, as the season goes on, potential. And Brian Thomas, Deontay Johnson, J-Mo.
I know. Like walking out of the draft with those guys, you're kind of just like,
we'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, let's see what happens, I guess. But fuck,
we're seeing what can happen.
We're seeing for sure. Oh my
All right,
gosh.
I like it. All right. Last grouping of 3. We're going league related. First one, Griffin Springfield is the last guy you want to be peeing in a trough next to. Oh, wait. Sorry. That's the segment for next week. This is fantasy related. Okay. It's actually Griffin Hunter has the best running back duo in the league after this last week's showing.
Oh, boy.
That's some fighting words to some people out there. I know a couple. All right, number 2, Jason Gregory, Mr. Peacocking at the bar himself, is now a playoff team.
Wow.
And then lastly, well, no pun intended, last but not least, potentially, Kendall is not the worst team in the league despite his 0-4 record. Ooh. 2 truths and a lie.
Oh, this is a good one. We're getting personal now. Okay, well, I'm going to start with Hunter. And again, recency bias here. Hunter has the best RB duo in the league. I got to say true.
Wow.
I got to say true. Look, the other argument you can make is Graham. I've been up close and personal to both these fellas. Look, they're both massive, both of these pairings. But did I have a heart attack all of Monday night with as discussed earlier in this episode? I also think that, as previously mentioned, that Kamara might fade down the stretch, and Saquon tends to get hurt a lot. So congratulations, Hunter. good news first, bad news last. Kendall is not the worst team in the league. That's true.
Okay, so
I
who
think
is?
that's true. But that's up for you to decide.
All right.
That's up for you to decide.
Fair enough.
I just think, look, we've been hard on Kendall, but I do think Kendall is putting the grind in. Is starting to develop. That team's starting to develop. Finally has some running backs he can start. He still has JJ. He still has Lamar.
Who are his running backs that he's starting?
Kareem Hunt and Cam Akers. All right, let's not dwell too much on that.
Wait, no. Real quick. Live on the podcast, we have a $10 bet. I want to make another one. I bet you those two outscore my running backs.
Yeah, didn't we talk about that earlier in this episode?
Did we?
Yeah. Open wager to Ken when he listens to the podcast.
It was cut.
Maybe it was cut, but I don't think it was cut.
Okay. All right, if it wasn't cut, let's double down. Let's make it a $20 bet.
Can you hear that? $20. Kareem and Cam outscore Bijan and Brees.
I'm so lit that I forgot that wasn't a segment that was cut.
Yeah, well, we've been recording this podcast for 6 days. So
okay, all right.
Who can blame you?
Okay, fair enough. Okay,
who can
there's
blame
the truth.
you?
Okay, there you go.
Okay, well, I guess by default, Jason is a playoff team. I'm not ready to buy into that narrative yet. I know people are talking about it online. I know he's vibing in the club.
The Reddit stream has actually gone crazy.
Look, I've seen things go bad quickly for Jay too many times at the bar. So I'm just not ready to buy into it.
But Jay has had some crazy polls.
Jay's had some crazy polls, yeah. And he's also pissed his pants on the couch at 8:30 multiple times. So
the J Stees. We call it the J Stees.
It's the J Stees.
Okay. It's still developing.
I'm not saying that he's not going to make the playoffs. I'm just saying I'm not ready to buy into it yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And that was
Two truths and a lie. Fuck, we're good. We are good.
We saved you guys with cutting the segment. I'm not joking. We really saved you guys. And now it's going to be, I mean, dependent on Sam's editing genius, it's going to sound a lot better. Trust me, based on what we have.
We only have 10 listeners, and 9 because Ben never listens, and I didn't want to lose.
Does Ben not listen? If he doesn't, I've got some things I'd like to say about him.
Ben, if you are still tuned in, please send us a smiley face with the $sign coming out of its tongue.
Yo, can we go off script real quick?
Real quick.
Okay. I'm matching up against Ben this week. Do you think I'm going to win? Honest assessment of our matchup. Do you think I'm going to beat Ben?
Yeah, because I know that Darnell Mooney is going to be the wide receiver 1 this week.
No, he might not be. You know why? Dobbs is out as well as Watson.
Oh, so you think it's Wick season?
Wick season, baby.
I don't even want to talk about Wick.
How does it feel to bid 57 for a wide receiver 3 and not get him? Probably not great.
How does it feel to drop the Dontavian Wicks for Ronnie Rivers?
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that you just dropped him.
I picked him up. I said, Sam, listen, buddy, your quarterback's back. Jay Love back in the building. Let's see what happens with your boy Wicks, who you drafted and then dropped and then picked up.
You had a lot of picks in it too. I remember you in the offseason talking about that.
I was stoked about him. So I had him on my roster last week. And I said, you know what? I'm not starting him obviously this week, but let's see how things go now that Jordan Love's back. Yeah. And on Sunday morning or Saturday or whatever, my dumbass had a premonition that Kyron Williams was going to get hurt. And so I might as well scoop up Ronnie Rivers free of charge and drop my boy Wicks to do it. In what fucking world? And okay, like I need some more running back depth, I think. So that was maybe a little bit of my, even though my entire bench is running back, none of it makes sense.
What's awesome is that there's quorum too. So you figure if Kyron got hurt, it would probably quorum would also be elevated. So maybe he wouldn't be the next guy in line, but it would be like a timeshare.
But Ronnie Rivers got 2 touches last week and Corum got no touches. So obviously it's Ronnie. I mean, dude, fuck me.
Dude, it happens. Those bench guys, it happens. Don't be too hard. You can be hard on yourself. Not be too. Don't get too hard.
League winner, that guy.
Knock on wood, man. By the way, Ken blasted the group chat, I think, for why more people didn't bet more. What was your sort of take on Ken's sort of inquisition to the rest of the league?
It was a Spanish Inquisition for sure.
It was. He was conquering. It was divide and conquer.
You know, it was interesting, I guess, is all I can say.
His take or what?
I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was his opinion that everyone should have been bidding on this guy. Like he's someone that everyone should have been bidding on.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certainly some people that didn't bid on him that definitely should have. Like this is someone that Casey would have loved to have on his team right now. So he doesn't have to roll out of Jerry Jeudy every week. But
Has Casey bid on anyone?
He bid like $2 on someone one time or something like that. But no, I don't know. It's whatever. Some people are feeling them, some people aren't. I thought Hunter put it. Hunter's close to the Packers. It's his team.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a take on it. I don't know. Like, people do whatever they want in this league. So
you don't think there's a right or wrong way to approach those things? It's just totally subjective.
I think it has to be. Yeah, I think it has to be.
I did 65. I put a $65 bid in, and yet I totally see everything Griffin said. That's true.
Exactly. It can go either way.
My thought process is, especially when it comes to Fab, I don't feel like it's a war of attrition. I feel like, for me personally, if there's someone that I might even have a chance to tap into a little bit of a breakout, or even a startable player rest of season, I think that's worth as much as it's going to take to get them. Now, however you want to interpret that is up to you, right? Like, is a wide receiver 3 maybe worth 65? Some people are going to say, obviously, no. But why are you holding on to the Fab? It's not, based on the way our league is, there's not a lot of Jordan Masons on the waiver wire when CMC goes down.
Yeah.
It's very few and far in between.
Yeah.
And those impact guys that change everything it's not just like black and white.
Yeah.
So to each their own, I totally get it. I felt like it's someone that has a chance to make an impact. And if that's all my Fab, whatever, because it's just money that's just sitting there. And if you don't use it, you lose it.
I think you're right. No, I think you're right about it. I mean, Wicks is a guy too that like isn't coming out of the blue. Like, he's on a sick offense. Quarterback just came back and demonstrated that like there's potentially going to be a lot of TDs and air yards to go around on that offense. So yeah, I mean, like, if you were going to drop 65 on Jordan Whittington just because Robinson got hurt, like, it's a little bit of a different story. So no, I totally see it. And I also totally see like being like, well, maybe I'm going to wish I could drop 50 later in the season. You just never know how it's going to play, but it's a gamble,
It's a gamble. I feel like you got to make a decision at certain points. Like, if you want a player, you can't use like conventional barometers to like decide on what percentage of your Fab you should drop.
Exactly.
It has to be like, if you want him, you go all in on that person.
Yep. Because
like, how many players do you actually want? For the most part, 99% of players are players that should just go through waivers and be a free agent.
Yeah.
It's very rare, because if you go through the whole season bidding on certain players, what like so-called experts or sites are saying you should bid X amount of percentage of your Fab, most likely you're never going to get that person, because there's going to be one person in your league that decides, I'm going to take a chance on that player. I want that person on my roster, and they're going to bid it up.
Yeah.
So that's just my view on it. Like, I don't think, just say you allot $10 bids for the whole season. Chances are that's not going to be like a huge game changer for you long term. Or 5 $20 bids. It's probably not going to work out. But most of the time, that's what people recommend. Like I said, it's once a season, twice a season where people say, bid 60% of your Fab, 70% of your Fab.
No, exactly.
The Fab conversation is interesting. That's why I just felt like, cool to throw it out there and just see how people think about it.
I agree. I'm super jealous. I explained my thought process to the league of not being able to stomach spending money on someone that I dropped for Ronnie Rivers. But I'm super jealous that he's on your team. And
all that to say, I'm not saying what I did was the right thing. I'm just explaining how I see it and why I spent.
There's no right or wrong. No right or wrong. All right, moving on. Final segment of this 2-week long episode.
Dude, I'm feeling good now.
Gamblers Alley.
I've got a little Sierra Nevada, cool little thing, IPA in the system. So
hell yeah,
it's Friday. I'm raging, absolutely raging tonight.
Yeah, you're getting a little carried away, buddy. You have to take your keys away from you.
Cheers to this water. Sip of water here.
Yeah, one sip of water for every sip of beer.
And I'm excited for this next section because I feel like I might be $50 richer come Monday night.
We said we're doubling down too. Remember? So last week, for those that either didn't listen to the podcast or are not participating in our group chat, Thomas won our Gamblers Alley parlay, improbably. You picked 3 correct, and I picked 3 wrong, and Thomas is $50 richer.
Well, I wouldn't say it was
probably. I would say chances are you don't win, but I was confident in my 3. Admittedly, watching you pick your 3, I thought on the inside it was pretty shaky. I wouldn't want to tell you that.
Jeez.
So I thought it was a pretty surefire thing for me after I saw things all in sort of light.
You know what? I trusted the underdogs last week. I trusted my boys, and they let me down, and I'm $50 in the hole.
70 up, though, on the week. 70 up, top score.
Yeah, you know what?
It was meant to be in that way.
Still in the green. So, moving forward this week, since we've had a win, we're pressing it. So we're $100 on the line now.
Yeah.
100 buckaroos.
Let's do it.
On the line.
We're on the way to 1,000.
So because you won, you lead us off. Bottom to top.
Bottom to top. I love it. This is Gambler's Alley, brought to you by Captain Morgan. All right. First matchup of the week. I am blessed to pick this. It's double Hattie against Carry Them Caleb. Now, I think conventional wisdom says pick Springfield here. Big trip. But I feel a little, I'm feeling juju. I'm connecting to juju. I'm connecting to vibes. And the vibes are pointing me in the direction of Brendan Hurley. And I think Tripp's probably happy as far as hedging that I'm not picking him. But I have a sense deep down that for some reason Tripp doesn't feel good about this week. I'm taking Brendan in my upset special of the week, brought to you by Dos Equis.
Dos Equis, line by. Wow. All right, let's go, B. B off to a solid start with Drake London putting up maybe the best game of his career, I think. Although Dibble had a pretty solid start from Mike Evans.
By the way, I gotta take some little modicum of credit for Drake London going off, because if it wasn't for him trading Bijan to me and getting Olave, he wouldn't have traded Olave for Drake. So you're welcome, Brendan. At least you don't have Bijan Robinson. Be gone, Robinson. Congrats.
Butterfly effect. Butterfly effect. Moving on up, we got Hunter versus Evan. My pick. Evan with a fresh 30 ball from the best QB in the league, Baker Mayfield, going up against Hunter with Ayuk and Pickens and Wandale, and the best RB duo in the league, Trey McBride, coming back. I think I'm talking myself into Hunter.
Front runner.
Talking myself into Hunter. Hunter.
That's not good karma. That's really not good karma. I'm taking Evan. I'm taking him with confidence, man. He's got Gibbs and JK, the two guys he just traded for, on bye at one time. Joku looks like he's going to play on one leg, but it's Worthy season. It's officially Worthy season with no Rice. Shaheed, he's due. Shaheed and Worthy might combine for 3 80-yard touchdowns each. They're going
to combine 4 catches, 3 touchdowns, 275 yards.
I like it. And he's due for one. He's due for one big play. It's been like 4 games. So yeah, fire me up, Ev. Let's go, dude. Let's go, Ev.
Next matchup, you get to pick the winner of 0-4 Kendall Cook, not the worst team in the league, and Luke and Dom's fantasy making squad.
I got Kendall here. For me, it's not even a question. This is the day, this is the week that he breaks through. I don't feel good about Luke's team. I feel like he needs to make a trade. And before he switches up that juju, I feel like this is the time for Kendall to slip in there. It's Josh Downs season. And Lamar, I feel like is going to have a really big day. Give me Kendall. Get over the hump and get his first win.
Here first, Kendall trying to slip in there like Bill Cosby at a casting party. Looking for a combined 30 from Cam and Kareem. Also, potentially looking for Cam and Kareem to outscore Bijan and Brees.
He won't make that bet, though. He won't. He knows that. He knows the outscoring.
20 buckaroos.
Yeah. So that means you have Luke.
I got Luke. You got Ken. And we're moving on to the next matchup of the week. I guess I get to pick the winner of Ben versus Mr. Unbreakable. And I'm sorry to do it to you, but I'm taking you.
Oh, again. I think you took me last week and I scored 80.
You're telling me Thursday night football, Darnell Mooney and Bijan combined for almost 40 points? That's a pretty solid start.
What if I told you that Bijan didn't break double digits
Damn. Damn.
You wouldn't think I'd be in a good position, would you?
Hey, I'm just telling you, Dak Prescott against Pittsburgh, horrible matchup. JSN against the Giants, we'll see. Wick's season, already talked about that. Fergalicious, best tight end in the league.
No Cooks.
No Cooks. And stumbling into potentially another starting running back with Ramondre getting benched. It's Gibson season.
I think that's a strong bet. I think this is where I lose my parlay chances. Ben, as good as your team is, you've made some frisky plays. You're a friend of the podcast now, and I appreciate that. You've done some good things for us, spread some good pub. I know that you continue to blast us on all your social channels, so thank you for continuing to support the pod and us as a duo here on the pod. But unfortunately, I think I'm just going to run a roughshod over you this week. Hopefully that doesn't come to bite me, but it might come to make Sam $100 richer. So, all right, give me Ben.
You heard it here first, and we're moving on to the next matchup. Graham versus Jason. It's your pick, sir.
Graham J, I think this is going to be a great matchup. I like this. There is no Saquon for Graham. Kamara seems a little bit dinged up. It's a Monday night game in KC. He'll suit up for that. I feel like when it comes to positive trajectory of teams and just feeling the zeitgeist, the culture in the locker room, I think both of these teams have something good going on right now. And for me, that makes it tough. But I'm going to stick with Graham because I think there's something. I think there's something that's happening that goes beyond fantasy football. And I don't want to fight that. Yeah. I don't want to fight fate. It's not just about projections or rankings. Sometimes culture, sometimes vibe, sometimes the spirit of a team really goes a long way. And so I'm going to take Graham because of the spirit that his team is showing this year.
All right, Jay, prove me wrong. I said that I didn't quite see it as a playoff team. This is the week to turn that around, Jay. I think you got some good matchups. I got Jay, you got Graham, and we're moving on. Are you still recording? Yes, sir.
I'm only not recording when it falls out of my ear, which is often, which is also why we typically have headphones that go over your ear.
Yeah. Final matchup, me versus Casey, and I guess I have the honor of picking this one.
Oh, we shouldn't have done that. We should have done it. But yeah, you shouldn't have had to pick your own matchup.
I know. I hate picking my own matchup. Alas, something else that we fucked up this week. Look, I think I've bet against Casey every week so far, and I'm going to do it again. And that's why I'm going to lose this week. But I've got to take me. I just think that my team, my matchups are looking a little bit better. I mean, now it's Dowdle season on Casey's roster.
You get to see him without Montgomery, who's been an RB1 this year.
I know. I still got to face that horse cock of Jordan Mason, but Garrett Wilson's going up against a tough defense. So, but I don't know. Jerry Jeudy against Washington. Okay, that's 150 and a touchdown. Amari Cooper, the Cleveland stack. I'm playing the Cleveland stack this week when they're going to combine for 375 and 3 touchdowns against horrid Washington defense. Jordan, I'm going to lose for sure, but I got to take me. So
I think I played the Cleveland stack last week and they put up like 15 total, and Casey's still like almost 120 on me.
Rolling out the Cleveland stack every week to a 3-1 record and competing for highest score every week is pretty swaggy.
It is very swaggy. It is Dowdle's season.
It's Dowdle's season.
How about Dowdle catching starts in back-to-back weeks?
Catching starts in back-to-back weeks.
How about him scoring more points than Bijan scored this whole season last week?
Is that true?
I think it's close. He scored like 12.5 last week. I think that might be like Bijan's pretty much his ceiling. 12.5.
12.5 is pretty big, though.
It is pretty big. I don't want to misspeak. Okay, sorry. He scored 14 once and 13.6. So,
damn,
it's more than he scored the last 3 weeks.
Jeez,
Dowdle season, baby, and that is Gambler's Alley, sponsored by
Captain Morgan.
Really quick, what's the rundown? Do you have it?
Yeah,
give us a rundown of this parlay. I know you guys are all following along.
Thomas has Brendan, Evan, Kendall, himself, Graham, and Casey, and I have Spring, Hunter, Luke, Ben, Jason, and myself.
I think you have like 4 out of 6 of the favorites based on projections.
Yeah, well, last week I took the underdogs. This week I took the favorites. And so probably I'm going to lose to Casey, and I'll be sending you
$100 coming my way.
But you know what we said? We said it goes 50, it goes 100, and then it goes 1,000.
That'll be fun justifying to Hannah and Jess, right?
Yeah, it's for the pod.
Maybe we can put it towards a group vacation.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, why not? Right?
Why the hell not?
Babe, I just I just paid for Sam and Hannah's tickets to Tulum. I hope you thought it's okay.
They want us to come, but now we can't afford it.
So we're bunking in the room with them and Skylar, just so you know.
Putting the baby in the baby room.
Well, that was it. That's a wrap. I think that's most of everything. Before we head out, before we tie a bow, put a bow, place a bow, wrap up whatever we're wrapping up. Anything, shout out to the league. Anything you got going on, Sam? Anything we want to mumble or rant about?
I'm just tired, boys. I'm just tired. Not only have been recording this podcast for 6 hours today, but, I'm getting old. My knees hurt. No. I'm just kidding. Life's good. Life's fantastic. I went on a walk with my daughter today by the ocean.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and then she threw up all over her own face. What about you?
Dude, I just didn't have much going on. I actually planned a pretty fun night for Jess and I tonight, and the night's basically over. So
was that listen to us record a podcast for 3 hours?
Yeah. No, Jess most certainly is asleep right now. When she wakes up, when I wake her up, she won't be happy. So there's that. But we love you, boys. Once again, we have fun doing it. Hit us up with any suggestions, recommendations, comments, concerns, disagreements. Let us know what you think about the segments. Let you know your thoughts about the things we did. Milo's trying to give Sam a kiss. That's so cute, Uncle Sam. But yeah, once again, love you, boys. Best of luck this week.
Best of luck to everyone except Casey.
Yeah. Best of luck to everyone except, unfortunately, I'm so sorry, Ben. As good as your team is, it's great. I mean, you're a good-looking guy with a great family, great head on your shoulders. You're going places in life. Your kids are incredibly well-behaved. Jess and I have a lot to learn from you and Elise as parents. I look forward to picking your brain as we move forward and continuing to forge this relationship as parents. All that to say, I'm going to run roughshod over you this week. Your team is not that good. And I'm sorry, you're going to be 1-4, but someone's got to be 1-4. It'll probably be you and Kendall. Anyways, I'm done ranting. I'm done rambling. That was episode 6.
In the books.
Good luck week 5, guys. We'll catch you soon, and it'll be better.
Peace.
HIV